Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Let me do a wrist check here. I'm wearing one of my favorite watches to wear, the Air King, the 116900. Now we've got another viewer question. This one is another this or that type purchase question. I'm just going to go ahead and read it here. Hi Bruce, longtime follower of your channel. My name is Charles and I'm planning to get a watch. Budget is between 1 and 1.7 thousand US dollars. This is to commemorate a personal milestone. Right now I'm thinking about two watches. I have a chance to purchase a like new in box Montblanc 1858 chronograph, a Nomos Club, or Nomos Metro. I love the vintage aesthetic of the Montblanc. It looks excellently built in person, although the 42mm is a little too big, but still very wearable. I have a 6.75 inch wrist. The Nomos, on the other hand, has a very classy, simple, and timeless design. It's an honest watch. Which do you think is better when it comes to finishing, build quality, movement, value for money, etc.? I've also thought about getting a Bell & Ross, an Oris, and a Grand Seiko Quartz. If you have any other recommendations, whether brand new or pre-owned, please let me know. Looking forward to hearing from you, Bruce, and more power to your channel. Well, Charles, first off, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And I would say, you probably know the drill by now. I've got no skin in the game, not my money, not my wrist. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Ultimately, this is your choice, your wrist, your money, your personal milestone that you're commemorating. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, that being said, the Nomos and the Montblanc, which do I think is better in terms of value, finishing, build quality, etc.? I would lean more toward the Nomos personally. Now, that's not to say Montblanc doesn't make a great watch or it doesn't have great finishing or build quality. I just think Nomos is really good. Like, I know underrated or undervalued is kind of a overrated term here in the watch community. It's bandied about a lot, probably overused, but in Nomos's case, I don't think that's the case. I think they are an underrated brand. German brand, in-house. They manufacture everything over in the Glashütte region of Germany, and they do a fantastic job. I love the club. I love the Metro as well. And it seems like, okay, I'm just trying to extrapolate a little bit from your email, but Charles, it seems like you're leaning more toward the Montblanc, and your only reservation is its size. And maybe that's why you're looking toward the Nomos, because it is so classic and they make some great smaller, more traditionally sized sport watches and dress watches. And I would say go Nomos, mainly for that reason. You know, if you have a 6.75 inch wrist, I'm sure you could get away with the 42mm Montblanc 1858, but it's fairly thick because they're using a Solita version of the Valjoux 7750 movement, which is fairly thick. It adds a lot of height, and that makes a difference on wrist, I think. And the way Montblanc does their cases, that the lugs are fairly dominant. I know they kind of sweep down a little bit, but I think the way it would sit on your wrist, you might be in love for a couple months, and then you might think, oh, I should have gone with the Nomos, right? Or an Oris or Bell & Ross or Grand Seiko. I think it's kind of interesting that most of the brands you're considering are independent brands. I know there's a couple exceptions, but that's pretty cool too. So I think in the end, you'll probably be most impressed and most happy with the Nomos. One thing that I like to do is look at the secondary market and look at the brand in general and look at your models specifically. Now, generally Nomos, when you're buying new, you're not going to get any discount from an authorized dealer. You're not going to find a ton on the gray market because most everything's being sold from ADs. And even on the pre-owned market, they don't take too much of a depreciation hit. So they hold value relatively easily. They're fairly popular. They're not hard to move. And so that tells me from a watch collecting standpoint, the brand is pretty decent to buy into. Montblanc, on the other hand, I know they make an excellent watch. I know they have great finishing and presence. There's a few pieces that I really love. But you look at them as a whole, they're fairly soft on the secondary market. I think that's awesome. If you're in the market for one and you don't mind buying pre-owned, you can get some pretty good deals. And who doesn't love getting a good deal as a watch fan? But if you're not sure and you buy one and then in a few months you say, it's just not meshing on my wrist that well, and you go to sell it, it's going to be harder to find a buyer, and you're probably going to take a bigger hit. So I'd say on the whole, it's worth it to look at the secondary market to see how soft or how robust the brand is viewed by watch fans. Now, as far as any other suggestions, I really love Oris. They make some dang good stuff. A lot of times they are using Sellita. They do have a few in-house stuff, but not really anything in that price range. I love Grand Seiko. You're looking at a 9F quartz, and that is going to be beautifully sized at under 40 millimeter, which would just look perfect on a 6.75 inch wrist. And you're probably going to be spending on the lower end, unless you're buying brand new. In that case, it might be hard. You're going to be spending right around $2,000 if you're buying one of their high accuracy quartz brand new, but you're not going to beat the finishing, right? That would be a really powerful purchase. The only other one that I would just kind of throw at you to consider is Tudor. I know I recommend this a ton, but you can find a black bay, either 36 or 41, and I would say go 36, maybe go blue. I think that looks great. You can find those for under $2,000 on the pre-owned market, and those are a heck of a purchase with the ETA 2824 that they upgrade and regulate, a really nice bracelet. Or you could go with their 1926. That thing is crazy value for money. Its retail price is under $2,000, and you can likely get 10% off from an authorized dealer, and even more off if you're going, secondary market or even gray market, though I don't necessarily like recommending going gray market for luxury purchases. So those are some things to consider. I would say between the Montblanc and the Nomos, I would go Nomos. I get that club. I'd enjoy it. Or I consider a Grand Seiko quartz or one of those Tudors. But ultimately, again, not my wrist, not my money. I hope you make a decision that you're super happy with. I'd love for you to keep me posted, man. Send me a wrist shot when you make that purchase and you commemorate that personal achievement. So congrats for that. Thanks for emailing. And guys, if you have a question for me you'd like me to cover here in a video, in a topic video, my email address is in the description. All right, we'll see you in the next one.